live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn.
Okay. I was so serious about this one, I typed it up.
Yeah.
I even have like...
Oh my God! And little tiny letters and stuff.
Purple and blue, because my printer ink was going out.
You're
so I
gonna
go with color ink.
You're going to be much more prepared than I
do want to start with a
am.
quote before I read what this movie's about, which if you don't know what it's about, then something's wrong with you.
Okay.
This is from the end of Meet the Robinsons. So I thought this was a really interesting quote, because whoever said this could possibly have a problem with this movie.
Oh, you think?
Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us to new paths. Do you know who said that?
I would say Mr. Rogers.
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. There you. Oh,
you see where I'm going with that?
I do totally.
So maybe we don't even need to say
so
anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye guys.
After the murder of his father, young lion prince flees his kingdom only to learn the true meaning of responsibility, bravery, blah blah blah. So it's a hero's journey. Blah 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 blah.
First of all, have to make a confession here.
Yes.
To make a confession, my wife. This blew my wife away.
Oh, it did.
I said I have never seen The Lion King.
That blew me away too.
I never saw the original Lion King.
I saw it in college when it first came out.
I was busy on a set, and it just never occurred to me to.
And I've watched it since.
I've
never been a huge Lion King fan, but after seeing this one, I'm a huge fan of the other one. The
other original.
One. I'm a huge fan now.
I never saw the other one.
I saw it actually. I decided to watch it a week before we went to see it.
Really? Right.
Yeah, so we saw. Yeah.
So you and I are going to have a difference of opinion.
You think so?
I think we are. Okay.
Well, okay. I will say that the opening with the sun rising and the music, I was like, okay, this could be really awesome. Because I felt like nostalgic. I was like, okay, this is cool. I like how it's boom. It's opening like the first one, right?
Right.
And then I felt like I was a balloon and the air was being let out of me slowly as the movie went on. And I felt like I was dying a slow death.
I'm going to take this from this point of view. I never saw the original. And so this is the very first Lion King.
You've never seen the original? So have you seen it yet?
I still haven't seen the original.
God, see, I wish you'd seen it. You know
why?
I have so many problems with this one.
Wait. But this is...
If I saw this by itself...
I'm telling you how unusual it must be.
Okay, well, this would be interesting because I want to know, as somebody who hasn't seen the first one,
right?
Why do you like this one?
Oh, God, there's so many... Technically... let's just say, let's get this out of the road.
Technical was definitely on my list.
Technically, this was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. But there were things that they did technically that were actually just good movie making stuff. Good movie making machinations. Like for instance, the matter of place, where you are, and then you go to the elephant graveyard, and then you go through the desert, and then you wind up in the second place, which is...
It's really hard for me not to talk right now. I'm listening.
Really? You just want to kill me.
I'm just going to drink my Coke.
I get, and you get to the Nirvana place, eating the grubs and so forth, and it's a combination of vegans, obviously. I love the voices of the characters. I thought that they were absolutely right on. But like I say, this is the first I've ever seen the story.
I know. So as an artist, you would totally love the first one more, I think. It's just my thought. Because the first one had so many beautiful colors in it. It had a lot of expression. It had a lot of emotion. It had like heart to it.
Right.
This didn't have it. Because they didn't really have any facial expressions. It was like, I felt like they were watching paint dry. They were just kind of, but the original had like a lot of crazy like stuff you can do with animation.
It's animation.
Exactly. This was like photorealism, which is like it's too perfect.
Absolutely.
It was too technical. In fact, Jon Favreau even said in an interview, I heard him say like
how hard it is.
It's all about the technology now, and I'm like, I think you're. And another thing was, it was a straight up like shot by shot by shot, exactly the same as the first one.
Was it?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
There was a couple of missing scenes that I really missed them. Like there's one water scene where they're jumping in the water. I missed that. Wasn't in this one. There was more dancing and singing. That was a little bit more like kind of jungle, like the original Jungle Book.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I liked it, and I thought it was a great job.
I just don't like.
I'd never seen the original. And
it's not live action.
I'm not a.
Why?
I'm not a big fan of the story.
I wasn't really a big fan of this, but now I want to go buy the original Lion King, and I want to buy the new one, and I want to burn it because I think it sucked. I mean, and I'm tired of people saying live action. It's not live action. It's still like. It's obviously not real animals. They didn't teach the animals to move their mouths at certain times.
No, of course they didn't.
Or they didn't teach them English.
They had to like use.
I mean, obviously there's a huge budget.
Swaths.
Yes.
Of
the credits were freaking unbelievable.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The credits had to go on forever.
I just thought it had no life to it, really. I felt no, because I've seen the first one, so I'm comparing it to the first one, really.
Right. You're comparing it, and I'm just saying that.
And the colors were so perfect in the first one.
Here was the thing that disturbed me, is that it's obviously a family film, and yet the hyena sequence at the beginning, where the cub is running through the roots, and the hyenas are there with their teeth. That was disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
The first one was pretty scary. It was scary. And it had I mean, obviously everybody.
Oh, yeah, because cartoons are so scary.
Yeah. Well, I used to be scared of cartoons.
Cartoons can be terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They can, actually.
No, I'm mocking you because.
Another thing is
because you need to be mocked.
I was feeling this, like, okay, I remember when I was like a little boy in the little sleepy town of Wyoming. Tumbleweed blows by.
Right.
Let me finish my story.
That's a mental tumbleweed. That's special effects right there.
But like Snow White, Peter Pan.
Release the tumbleweed.
The classics, Snow White, Peter Pan. They would come to town like every year. And we would actually look forward to seeing them. My brothers and I would go down.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bambi's in town. We go watch it.
Can I say that has been going on
I wish they would have shown the original Lion King like as part of the. I don't know. Why don't they like do that? That would be kind of a way to promote the new movie and show how much it sucks.
Because it was on 100 billion DVDs out there and tapes and everything.
Well, my advice to anybody out there is take your kids to see buy the DVD for the original and show them this one. Don't show them this one. Watch the DVD. This one. Don't watch this one.
As a movie, I thought it was really good.
There's a point when Simba got in trouble, for example. Just to give you an example, since I'm just kind of talking broad strokes here.
Right.
Where he goes to the elephant graveyard, he gets in trouble for it.
Right.
And he's like, James Earl Jones is like, I need to talk to you. And like, he was scolding them.
Right.
There was no expression. It was like, I mean, he wasn't in trouble.
They were facing the other way.
But in the original, you can see their faces. You can see the sadness and the disappointment in his dad's face. And you can see Simba looking like, oh, I've ruined my dad's life. I'm so depressed. And there was a lot more to it.
I don't miss the disappointment in my dad's face.
And the original
or my mother's face, certainly.
The original Scar was Jeremy Irons. He did an amazing job. And he actually manipulated him more into it was more clear that he manipulated it.
Right.
To kind of get him to want him to go to the graveyard.
Okay.
And the way he did it was so perfect in the first one. It was like, the whole character was manipulative.
See how much fun this is that you had something to compare to and I didn't? You know what? This is Story Time with Kurt is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are here.
Story Time with Kurt.
This is all Story Time with
the
Kurt.
death of Mufasa, it was just so flat. There was. I mean, I'm comparing it again. My point of view is everything compared to the original. Kind of was, I guess, because I got so pissed off with this one.
Right.
I mean, if I saw this by itself, I probably would enjoy it. But
I know
I've
your
seen
face
the
is
original.
I know your face is all red, and you're like, wow.
I think this was definitely done better though. I think Jungle Book was actually better done.
No,
Favreau didn't direct that.
No,
Who directed Jungle Book?
You thought Jungle Book was better done?
Well, it's because there's a real actor, and there's actually somebody that can show emotions. You see what I'm saying?
Jungle Book sucked.
The remake. I'm not talking about the original.
I know. I'm talking. I
used to love the original.
I loved the original.
Yeah,
right,
I did too.
Right,
Jungle Book was amazing.
Right. But I don't think that. But I don't think that they did a good job of it in the modern version. But you know what?
This is worse than that remake of Psycho. It's like there's no point to it other than just get a whole ton of money and piss off Walt Disney. Walt Disney's probably spinning like at 100 miles an hour right now, like
boring his way to China.
I didn't feel like there was really interesting camera work or angles or anything that was really interesting the way they shot it, and they extended it by 30 minutes because it felt like it was drawn out, and it was like 30 minutes longer. Anyway, I'm only on page 1.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Anyway, yeah. So speaking of like I was talking about how it's all about the technology.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's look at Avatar. The
Okay.
characters had a lot more emotions in their faces than in Avatar because they used
Real actors to make those expressions.
Gotcha. Keep going.
I'm turning
Keep
purple.
going, son. Yes, you are. This is funny as hell to watch.
and really Beyonce.
Really, you know that we don't have cameras this
I'm
time.
tired of Beyonce.
That we don't have Yeah, you know I know nothing about Beyonce.
I feel like Beyonce
either.
took away from it. And why didn't they just use like Elton John singing like
Can you feel the love?
Why couldn't they just use Elton John if they wanted to be nostalgic?
See,
and James Earl Jones sounded so bored. He was like reading his lines that he knows so well because he,
did the original.
yeah, but he was like, "Look at the stars, Simba." Like if you listen to the original, there's a lot more passion in his voice, and it's not because he's old now. It's because he just doesn't give a shit because he's like, "This is gonna be the worst piece of crap," and he knows it. Anyway, speaking of James Earl Jones,
Keep going, young son.
Speaking of James Earl Jones,
Keep going. Yeehaw!
The first cast. I have to talk about the first voice cast that they had in this.
Okay.
Jeremy Irons.
Okay.
Whoopi Goldberg, Rowan Atkinson, Nathan Lane, Cheech Marin.
It was amazing.
Matthew
Broderick had more passion in his voice than this Donald Glover motherfucker.
I'll put Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, and
Seth Rogen was good. So was the guy that played the bird.
Right, he plays.
He's John Oliver.
John Oliver, but
yes.
the other one too was good too.
Yeah, those guys were good.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, let's talk about the hyenas. There were 3 hyenas in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
One of them name was Ed, and he had a lot of like flair, and he was funny as heck. And
these were just general.
The guy that I work with, Jared, he was like, that was the one thing that disappointed him is that for some reason they had 4 hyenas and Ed wasn't there.
They had a million.
The funny hyena Ed was not there.
Hyenas aren't funny.
Well, this one was.
That's not funny. What is this, a feminist joke or something?
So anyway,
that's not funny.
Ed helped the original movie look even better. Was more funny because of Ed. My props to Ed anyway, but he wasn't in this one. So anyway, for those this was definitely targeted not to kids. You could tell by the way it was targeted to those kids that grew up in the 90s that watched this when it came out.
Really?
For them to be nostalgic and say, "Oh, I'll give you my money because I'm a stupid motherfucker for the 90s. Here you go." Anyway, I just say, do your children a favor, people. This is my public service announcement. The more you know.
The more you know.
Do your children a favor and watch the original and use the new one as either a doorstop or maybe a fire starter, something that's more creative. I can probably think of more ways you could use it. Maybe shove it up somebody's. I don't know. Anyway, people will forget about this new one, I think, in about 5 years, and the original will live on. I hope that people will go back to watching the new one. Even my daughter's favorite movie right now, Sing, is a better movie than this one, I think.
Sing is a great movie.
And even Secret Life of Pets.
Sing is a great thing. And the first.
Do you know why?
The first one.
Because the characters could show emotion. And it wasn't photorealism. It wasn't all about the technology. It was blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I think I have one more thing to say.
Do you?
No, not really. I think I'm done. So... I would give the original like 4.5 stars.
I took the. Jeez. Deanna, who lives across the street, is my age plus, let's say, and we went to see this, and I have to confess that she turned to me and she says, "Do you think they're gonna use actors in the future?" Because I explained to her, I said, well, none of these are all digital recreations. This is, she says, well, how do they get that such and such that bird to do that? I go, well, that's kind of like it's just an advanced form of animation is what I told her. She says, do you think they're gonna use actors in the future?
Wow.
And I was like, such a loaded question.
Okay, I will say some positive things about it.
Okay.
Let me think.
Okay. Oh, shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, actually, okay, I will say that it looked very real, and actually the way the animals moved was very realistic.
Yeah.
It was like a documentary, and it was about as exciting as a documentary.
There it is. That's it. Now I know why I liked it.
Because it was like a nature documentary?
You know what? It reminded me of all the films that I used to see at the Fox Theater down in San Bernardino, all the Disney films that came through in the 60s, right? I mean, all they don't do that anymore, and I'm sure that you would be hard pressed to even find all those films. But Disney had, quote unquote, like talking.
Well, I used to like Benji.
They had Benji
was just thinking.
No,
though.
I mean natural. I mean nature films that they put a
voiceover.
Sort of like the Penguin one that they did more recently.
Yeah.
Okay, but they did dozens of those back in the 60s, and we used to watch them all the time. And that's what this reminded me of. This gave me a warm 60s vibe.
You've got to see the original though.
No, I don't.
Because
no. I mean, you're right. No,
just the use.
No, I don't have to do anything.
The use of the color. There's a scene where they're fighting by the fire. The cartoon is just amazing because it's like orange and there's like flames, like these little embers flying up. Everything's good. The death scene, there's shadows that are used really amazingly. Scar's shadow was like there. He was bigger than life. It was so much better. You'll see what I'm saying.
There's a good chance that before, not before I'm 70, but in 8 to 10 years, I'll have a great grandchild and I'll show them.
I think Ian, he's at the right age to appreciate the original Lion King. I think. So this is my conversation with Ian. Hold on, Ian. Get one of your kids to ask Grandpa Mick to watch Lion King and make Mick watch it with her. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Okay. You see,
I don't know. You're going to say, I hope that you don't watch it in 10, 15 years because, I don't want your last thought to be,
Kurt was right!
Anyway.
Trust me, in how many ways that's not going to be my last thought. My last thought is probably going to be, oh, it kind of smells like toast in here, burnt toast. I'm pretty convinced that that's going to be my last thought. So
maybe. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with a 3.2. I enjoyed it and I loved the technology.
I know I'm probably in the minority, but I really just didn't like it. I mean,
no, you are not in the minority.
Yeah,
trust me on this. And
it's because I'm familiar with the
there's like hate clubs.
I'm really familiar with the old one, so that's the problem. If I hadn't seen the older one, I'd probably be agreeing with you right now.
Yeah, there you go.
But
yeah, so
it's like when you take a piece of art though, and you like redo it, and it looks like a turd instead of a diamond. Which one are you gonna like more? I think I'll go with the original diamond.
It's all carbon, baby. It's all carbon, baby.
It's all the same, right?
It's all carbon.
Well, anyway, Favreau, I don't know.
So you're going to give this a
I want to tell Favreau
4.2.
He should go back to producing. Just forget about the directing for now. Just take a break. It's okay. Take a breather. No big deal. Just go back to producing because you're good at producing.
Stay on top of the Avengers.
That Marvel stuff, you've done an amazing job producing. And even crowbarring yourself into scenes, I'm fine with it. Whatever. But anyway,
so what are you gonna give?
I give the original 4.5.
Nobody asked about the original. Nobody did. Nobody.
Okay, anyway. Yes, I give this 2. I'm being generous.
Okay.
A 2 for technology.
A 2
for technology.
2 T2.
I mean, they
T2.
accomplished what they wanted to do, was make a movie that was technologically advanced. It looked amazing. They did it, but that's it. It could have been a 10-minute movie. I would have said, oh, cool technology, but there's no substance there.
Well, we are going to have to agree to disagree. So.
What do you rate it?
I said 3.2.
3.2.
Yeah, 3.2.
Oh, man, this has been...
I'm sorry.
This is a tiring one.
Has this been an emotional... You've gone through a catharsis. I'm glad that your color...
I feel better.
Well, the red is drained back out of your face. You look like a human being again. I guess...
I did look like the Hulk for a second there.
Yeah, you did. You're all hulking out. You didn't smell toast there at all, did you? Okay, I'm just curious.
The truth is, I'll probably watch this when it's on Netflix. I'll give it another look, but probably not. I won't do that.
Yeah, no.
I'll go back and watch the original
just as soon as I'll watch the original.
I hope it actually. I'm glad. I'm going to start YouTubing. I'm going to start looking for more people like me. I'm going to join the hate club.
Yeah. You could start your own hate club.
I probably could.
Okay, people. Vengeance is coming.
Yes. And soon vengeance will be mine because I want the copy of it. I want a video. I want to buy that thing.
I'm gonna have to hear next week. I'm gonna have to hear what you think of vengeance. Yeah.
Hopefully, I won't be so hard on Jeremy.
Yeah.
And Dustin and the gang.
As hard as you've been on Disney.
Well, I just feel bad for Walt. Poor guy. He didn't know what was going to happen after he died.
Poor billionaire.
He's going to come back. Didn't they freeze his head?
Cry.
Or was that somebody else? Did they freeze him?
I don't know.
I thought that was, or was that a rumor that they froze Walt Disney? He's going to come back and be really pissed off. What the kids have done while he was away.
Good.
Anyway, okay, I'm done.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.